Hey, awesome people. My name is Carla. Welcome to my channel. In this channel, I'm going to be talking everything about money, credit cards, how to leverage credit, how to use others people's money, financial literacy, personal finance. I'm going to be making credit card reviews and much more. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the smart way to use credit cards, and I'm going to be giving you a few steps or tips about how to use it in the best way. So if you are ready to master the art of the plastic or how to use credit cards in a smart way, hit that like button and also subscribe if you haven't already. Like I mentioned before, I'm going to be talking about different subjects that might interest you, so you will be helping the algorithm, and also you're going to help that YouTube push this video for more people. That way you can enjoy this information like you might be doing. So I appreciate if you just subscribe and like this video. The first smart way to use credit cards, I will say, is create a budget. So for this, you have to establish a monthly budget that includes all of your expenses. Just allocate a specific space for all of the spending that you need to do, or that is a must. That way you can place your budget in the best way for the income that you receive, how you're going to pay your credit cards, and that's the visual way to do the credit card usage better. With this, the purpose of this is like you can pay your credit card in full every single month. That's the goal. So if you do the let's say you can do budget different ways, but one of the option could be that usually people use the budget as okay, this is my monthly income, and then I will subtract all of the expenses, and then whatever is left, that's basically mine leftover for the month or something like that. That's the simple way that the people used to do that. But also when you are budgeting, you need to consider your credit card's limit. You have to divide, you have to see what I'm gonna use this credit card for. Maybe let's say the utilizations, not the utilization, the utilities. So basically what this means is like, for sure that you're gonna be you have to pay electricity, you have to pay, I don't know, internet, water, the thing that is a must for you. You can put it on the credit card because you have to pay it from your salary or paycheck, so that's for sure you want to pay back. So those are secure expenses that you can put toward your credit card because you're gonna pay that for sure. If you do it that way, for sure it's gonna cover probably the minimum balance due on your credit card, and then you can go from there. So basically you have to confine your credit card with your budget. You have to synchronize the credit card limit with your expenses to see how you're gonna play with it, what I'm gonna be spending my the credit that I have on my credit cards. And that's the main purpose, like I mentioned before, is that you pay in full every single month. That's the best practice for paying using your credit card, because there is a lot of risk when you are coming with credit card. Yes, you can pay the minimum due or the minimum balance due, and you won't have any issues with the reporting to the credit report because you pay the minimum due. But guess what? The bank or the financial institution is going to hit you with interest rate that you have to pay for the amount that is remaining. So you have to be aware of different situations. That's why you have to play smart. And yes, you have to consider the income that you receive on your paycheck or your business, or whatever way you are receiving income. But also the most important is like you can be aware of your credit card limit and what you're going to put toward that. That way you can afford to pay in full, profitable. So another way that I can suggest you is having an emergency funds first. So I will suggest that before relying on credit for emergency, I believe that you should build and maintain a emergency fund. It could be a savings account, or in a specific account. Doesn't have to be savings, but in specific account for emergency. That way you can take 5%, 10%, depending of your budget, and put always something there that if he comes to emergency, you can use that money instead of the money that you have separate for that. You also can have a credit card just as backup for the emergency it can present. However, because you have the emergency fund account, basically you use your credit card, but you have the money there, so you won't be having any issue with paying your credit card on time because you already have it. So when the issue to start is when emergency comes, you don't have anything safe for that purpose, because anybody can have an emergency. I mean, it could be that the car broke, it could be some health issues, it could be anything that, I mean, lives happen. So, but we need to be prepared for anything that could happen and have these safe or emergency funds, because that's the correct word, just to keep up to that specific situation. The main purpose is like you can apply for a credit card, let's say that, and it can be as minimum as 1,000. It doesn't matter exactly what the limit is. Just you can have a credit card for a backup. But me saying that have this credit card as a backup for an emergency fund, that doesn't mean that you don't have to have a emergency fund account, because again, we are trying here to use the credit card or others people's money, in this case financial institution money, that can help us with our credit score in our credit report. So basically you are using that for the emergency that just happened, but you have the resources to pay back immediately. That way it won't hurt you. What we are trying to avoid here is accumulating debt because of that situation that you were not expecting to happen. So as my suggestion is, you have to prioritize building an emergency fund, because I mean, like I mentioned before, life happens, you never know what could happen, and it's really not a good situation when something happened and you don't have anything to to cover for you. So another way is setting up automatic payments. Okay, I won't get tired of saying this, because the best way, if you have the possibility of do this is the best way. Set up automatic payments for at least the minimum amount due. Just at least the minimum amount due, and then you can just pay from your reminders on whenever you decide to pay, but obviously by the due date, because like I mentioned before, the goal is pay in full every single month. But at least you have that set up, that way you don't incur in late payments. That's what we need to avoid at all costs, because it's not just gonna hurt you on paying late fees, but it's also gonna hurt you on your credit score, and it's gonna show up on your credit report. So that's what we need to try to avoid. That's what is very important to consider automatic payment. Obviously, if you cannot do that, my next suggestion is going to be just set up automatic or reminders on your calendar, on your phone, everything that can help you, 3, 2, 1 different reminders. That way you are aware when the due date is coming. And just do, I mean, reminders work different way. For some people, just one reminder, it might be enough. Some people has to put 3, 2, 5. So maybe 2 days before, 5 days before. That way you can keep up with the payment that is coming up, and that way you can start working on getting that money or getting prepared for making that payment as soon as possible before the due date comes. So automatic payment basically ensure that you never miss a due date. Like I said, if you just do it as a minimum payment, at least you will cover. That doesn't mean that you don't have to pay the remaining. you should pay remaining and pay the balance in full, but that helps you to be covered at least for that and avoid the late payments fee, like I mentioned before, and also the bad or negative impact on your credit score and your credit report. It also is going to help positively on your payment history, because you always going to be showing paying on time, even though it's the minimum and you have to work on the remaining balance. Other ways is regularly review your statements. I mean, my best suggestion is you have to review your statement regularly, because sometimes credit cards statement can be off. Maybe can show some unauthorized fees or suspicious transaction, or I don't know, maybe somebody clone your card and there is some suspicious transaction that you didn't commit. So you need to be aware of those situations and many other situations that can happen, just to be sure that whatever is showing your statement is exactly what you have used your card for. So basically you have to be showing or checking for discrepancy early, because it's better early than later, because if it's later, it's gonna hurt your credit score, and they might report to the credit bureaus, and then it's gonna be a whole another situation trying to fix your credit report. So that's why the importance on review your statement regularly. That way you can find any issues, in case that there are issues or not, and just contact your provider and address the situation properly. The last but not least, you have to be familiar with your credit card terms, including the interest rate, the fees, the reward structures that every credit card has, or not everyone, depend on the product that you choose to have. So it's good to know those details, because I mean, even the system or human error or things happen. So you need to be aware what is going on in there. If you're going to incur in late fees, well, you need to know what is going to be. That way, when you see that, you are aware. There is many other fees that the bank comes, and you are not even aware if you don't go through the disclosure in the terms of the credit card. They give you all of this information. Usually people don't used to go through those details, but it's very important that you do, because when you are reviewing your statement and you see a fee or interest rate that was charged, you need to be aware of what is that about, that, because it's gonna be weird, and a lot of people do that. They sometimes just call the bank, hey, what is going on? And that's okay. If you are not aware, or you just don't remember, it could be that you forget what is that about, you always can call the bank and they will explain it to you. But I believe that this is a good practice, that you can just always be familiar with the credit cards terms that you get, and just see everything that is going on. That way you can know and you utilize better, and it's going to be more beneficial for you in terms of benefits or rewards or payments, in avoiding late fees or other fees, in avoiding interest rates. So it's going to tell you about the due dates, the terms that they have, the everything. So it's going to be a lot of information, but it's good to know exactly what it's about, and you are aware of all of this information. Knowing the ins and out of your credit cards, it will help tremendously how to make informed decisions or a smart decision about what you choose to, how you choose to use your credit card. So you have to, like I mentioned before, it's good to have financial goals, like paying for your credit card and other financial goals that you might have personally. And you also, is good to have good spending habits, so those are aligned with in our part of the same budgeting. So you have to be aware and plan in advance for specific expenses that are not a must or is not an emergency. That way you can play around with your income and expenses. So that's the main key of this subject matter. So just be aware of this. Spend responsible. Don't get crazy if it's not necessary. I mean, if you can, by all means, go ahead, because from time to time it's not bad to treat yourself. But the reality is, you just have to be smart, and you have to be responsible. Remember, using credit card wisely requires discipline, but also clear understanding of your own financial situation. So, like I mentioned before, you just have to be aware of your situation, be responsible, and go from there. If you are really focusing on being responsible in um, understanding your credit card terms, you probably is gonna be successful enjoying your product, or meaning your credit card, and you're gonna minimizing the risk of any that can cause by your misunderstanding of how to use it properly and not knowing all of those terms like you should. So there you have it, 5 smart ways to use your credit card. So I just want to make you an invitation. I have a free VIP group in a school. I would like to see you in that community. Remember, it's free. So I will be leaving the link in the description box below. So I hope that I can see you there. So remember to subscribe and like this video. Also comment if you have another different ways to use your credit card wisely and smart. That way, all of the community and other people can enjoy and get this information and can use it on their favor. Bye.